Hi, I'm Shelley and this is Walter coming to you from the Kansas City area. Our podcast is called Knittings and Sewings. It's episode 34. It is the late summer, actually, the Labor Day weekend. And so we're out here on the deck. You want down? We're out here on the deck. We already have acorns falling. We're at that time of the year where we truly start to get into the fall season, my favorite. So I'm here with you today to kind of give an update and to fill you in. I'm in a transitional kind of period with my crafting, but I still wanted to check in with you because it's been about 4 weeks, I think, almost, since our last recording. So I wanted to give you a quick update. First of all, last time that I was here, we were talking about the fact that I was going to return to the Penguono, which is a Stephen West knit. It's a project I started in January of 2023 with the intent of making a warm winter kind of coat jacket. So now, where am I at now? I've been working on it for almost 4 weeks since that time, maybe 3 weeks. Because I was, I think, in the, around the 10th or 11th of August. So what have I done since? Well, first of all, I did complete the first sleeve, the one I had just started working on again when I ended that video. And so I was using, for the sleeves, I decided to use the Ferris wheel, Lion Brand Ferris wheel, and the color is called Pink Marmalade. But I love the way that the striping in it and the colors that are in all of these different colorways are really pretty. And so I might use this Lion Brand Ferris wheel in other projects in the future. It's technically, I'm looking at it, it's a worsted weight, a 4 or a worsted weight. And I do really like this. Using it, it's soft and the variegation is lovely. And so that's what I'm doing to complete the sleeves. And so I'll be talking to you more about this Penguono once I actually finish it. I'm really motivated now. I'm on the second sleeve. I've completed the right front. I've done a lot of work since we last spoke. I've attached the sides with the main body, the sleeves. I've attached the shoulders, and so now it's starting to actually come together as the sweater coat it's intended to be. And it's going to be a large, oversized sweater coat that I definitely can wear this fall and maybe even this winter, because we have fairly mild winters in Kansas City till we get to January. So anyway, that's my intent with the Penguono. I'll be talking a lot more about it next time. Hopefully I will, fingers crossed, I will have finished it. I intended to finish it for this podcast, episode 34, but obviously it's taking a little bit longer than I originally anticipated. So that's what we're doing with that. The Penguono is making real progress. Next up, Walter is, I wish you could see him, Walter is sniffing my bag, and I'm going to tell you about what's in this bag here in just a moment. Cute little Walter. I wish you could have seen him doing that. But he was sniffing the bag. He always likes to investigate my yarny purchases. This is, the shiny red bag is part of the Katie Jones mystery knit along called Ski Apres or Apres Ski. I get it, the order of that mixed up. But this is going to be a knit along. It's actually knit along or a crochet along, depending upon your preference. Hobbii Yarn has partnered up with Katie Jones, who is a UK designer. She's a very young, vibrant, creative person who I'm really thrilled to have discovered recently. I wanted to do some kind of knit along this fall, but I wanted to do something different. As you know, I'd been doing some of the Stephen West knit alongs in the past, in the fall. And at this point, I've been on kind of more of a sweater kick lately this year. Seems to be focused more on sweaters. And so I wanted to do some kind of along, but I didn't want, I wanted something more doable and just a little different. So I decided to join in on the Hobbii. I've been buying almost everything Hobbii this year. Been really, really loving the Hobbii yarns and products, and so that's what I did. I'm not sponsored by them, I swear, but I did decide get hooked into this mystery knit along. But this one is going to be a 7-week knit along. So hopefully I'm going to have time, even with my slow pacing, I'm going to have time to keep up with it, or at least not get too far behind, because I believe what we're going to be making is a 1980s inspired, you know, kind of a ski Apres, or however they say it, is, you know, the after you go skiing, and I'm not a skier, so those of you who are skiers can tell me more about this, but I believe they go, after the skiing, they go up to a bar or to a pub or to a, you know, get together socially, and many of them wear their beautiful sweaters. And so in the 1980s, there were a lot of beautiful and colorful sweaters. So this, she says, is inspired by the vintage 1980s ski sweaters, and I believe it's going to be a pullover, but I'm not entirely sure of that, so don't hold me to it. Now, she had a kit that you could purchase, or if you want to knit from stash, you're certainly welcome to do that. You can sign up for free to get the weekly mailings, and the knit along begins on Thursday, September 5th. So each week, each Thursday, she's going to drop another clue, another part of the pattern for the mystery knit along. And I just want to show you what all I got. I'm going to put up a picture of the whole thing so that you can see my picture of all the colors. But I had 24 balls. I purchased a size 2 kit. You can buy other colors, or you can use colors from your stash. You don't have to use their kit. But they have a size 1, 2, or 3, depending on, it's an oversized sweater. And there are, in the kit that I bought, I decided to buy the knit one. There is a very similar looking crochet one. But some of the colors, I'm just going to show you a few. It uses the variety of these Diablo, Portobello. These are yarns I've used on other projects of mine for the most part. This one I haven't used. It's the Pantone. It's a kind of sparkly greenish. The combinations in this are, some of them are sparkly. Here's another one. Oh, this beautiful sparkly navy color, Diablo glitter. I've not used that color before, and it's hard to show up here, but it does have a lot of glitteriness in it. And as you guys know, I like colorful, sparkly yarns. So these are just beautiful colors for me. This is a kind of more toned down pink, blushy pink. And then it has red. There's a mohairish like red, but again, this is probably acrylic. Hobbii has a lot of mohairs that are similar. They're acrylic, but they feel like mohair. Here's a Portobello again. I've used this Portobello before and loved it, and this is a lavender color. So we have a lot of lavenders, peaches, greens, mint greens, some navy. Here's one of my favorite colors. It's the Pantone, and it's in reds, pinks, has goldish little sparkles to it. All of this is really not showing up well on the camera, but trust me, it's really sparkly. You can probably see it by going to their website a little bit better. What else? Then we have an orange. So a lot of these I feel like might be paired with a solid color with the mohair sparkly ones, but I'm not sure yet how she's going to do it, of course. So these are 8 of the different ones I'm showing you. I got a total in my kit, and the number of skeins you get varies by the kit, by the size you get. But in mine, I had a total of 24 different balls. I counted them this morning. And then you get the cute little bag, the project bag. It's like a plastic, but it's obviously very shiny and fun. And then you also get some little needles, some stickers with your ski sweater, and all the little stickers that I'll probably put on my water bottle. And then you have some scissors. And lastly, you have a lot of heart-shaped little knitting, the little stitch markers. Couldn't think of that word. They're in a heart box. And these are all the little stitch markers with hearts and colors in pink, red, purple, really fun, happy colors. So that's what comes in the kit. And again, I got a size 2. They have a size 1, 2, or 3, and they all are going to be oversized. So they tell you on the instructions how to figure out what size you're going to be using. For me, it is a size 2. So, because I want mine to be the size 1, I think goes up to around a 38-inch, whatever number of centimeters that would be. But they encourage you to take a sweater that you like, a pullover that is comfortable for you, that is just the right comfiness. And for me, I felt like going for the size 2 might be better, because the size 1 I think goes up to 38 inches or something like that. If you measure your sweater flat, that would make mine a little bit too tight for my comfort, because I am a 42 chest. So I wanted to have the size 2. But we'll find out. I'm a loose knitter. I did a gauge swatch and found out that they call for a size 9 needle normally, whatever number of centimeters that is. I'm sorry, millimeters, I'm not sure. But I usually use, I'm a looser knitter, so I went down a size to, which would be for me a size 8 needle. And I think that's a 5.0 millimeter. I'm not absolutely sure of that. And then you also need a size smaller down from that for some part of the project. So I will be also using a size 7. So for me, it'll be size 8 for the main part and size 7 for the smaller needle. But for you, it might be entirely different. You need to do a gauge swatch to find out where you would be at with that. So anyway, I'm excited for the project. I will definitely share with you my progress as I go along. But I am going to participate in that, and I'm really excited. So this coming Thursday, we will get our first clue. And I'll be bringing you along with me on the Katie Jones Ski Apres, or Apres Ski, whichever it is, knit along. And also, if you are a crocheter, don't feel left out, because you can choose a crochet version. And it's going to be very similar, from what she says, to what we're going to do in the knitted version. Next up, I want to talk about what I've been reading. In working on the Penguono lately, I have been needing a lot of binge TV watching as well as reading. So for TV watching, of course, I've been rewatching the Martian show that I watched. I can't think of the name of it. I'm almost finished with that. And I have also started rewatching Only Murderers in the Building, and really enjoying that. I had watched it the first couple of seasons when they were first on, and now I'm catching up, rewatching those shows I already saw, and then catching up with the rest of it. So that's been a real binge watch for me. But in addition to that, I've been reading a lot. And at first I was wanting to read a thriller. I got the urge to read a thriller because I heard Jenna Bush Hager talking about a book called All the Colors of the Dark by Christopher Whitaker. I'll put the name of that book up here in a second. I can't remember what it was, but I had read about 50 to 60 pages of that, and then decided I had to put it aside because it just got too dark and gory for me. Definitely, I purchased an Audible version of it, and I was glad I did not purchase a physical version too, because it just was too much for me, so I had to put it aside. But Lisa Jewell is a UK thriller author, and last month in episode 33, I had talked about a book I read of hers called None of This Is True. And so this time I wanted to continue reading her because I really enjoyed her writing. And I picked up a 2019 book she published called The Family Upstairs. And I think the cover is just beautiful. I was really drawn to that cover. And this book is kind of like a modern day Gothic. I always liked Gothic novels when I was a teenager. And, you know, the kind of Rebecca de Maurier and Jane Eyre type Gothic. And so this is a more modern version of that type of Gothic to me. It's about a family who lives in a very wealthy mansion in the UK along the Thames. And the street is called Cheyne Walk, Cheyne, Cheyne Walk. And Lisa, the author, when I heard her interviewed, she actually used to drive along these mansions and wonder who all lived in those houses. And that's one thing that inspired this first novel, The Family Upstairs. And so it took place, the main events in the story took place about 25 years ago. And the police, when they're called to the scene, when the police are first called, they are called because there are 3 dead bodies that have been discovered in the kitchen of the mansion, adult bodies. And then the 4 children who are living in the house, most of whom are teenagers, but one baby is found, a perfectly healthy 10-month-old baby is found playing in a playpen happily in the same house as these dead bodies that were discovered. So that's how the story begins. And then it goes back, you know, the story itself is going back to what has happened, the events that have led up to this. And so this book was very well received. It was one of her bestsellers. And she did not intend to write a standalone novel, according to her, a sequel to this novel. It was intended as a standalone novel. But over the course of several years of people asking for a follow-up, and she was intrigued by one of the characters, Henry, in the novel. And so she decided to, in 2022, release one called The Family Remains. And so this is like the second book. So if you were to read these, you definitely would want to read it first, The Family Upstairs, and then The Family Remains. But what I like about these 2 books is that the first book, you're very much in the house. It's the dark, Gothic-y feel of this family living in this house. And there actually are a total of 2 families living together in the house. And then there's the mystery of the children escaping, but of course the children, that's not part of the spoiler to say that the children are not, they're actually alive. And so in this book you come to learn more about the children who are now adults and what all really happened back in the first book. So there's a lot of mystery. The 2 books together form an interspersed deep layering of the story. And so this just further deepens and goes into a lot of the mysteries that were still part of the first book. So I think these 2 are wonderful books to read accompanying one another, but I would read them back to back. I think reading The Family Upstairs and then The Family Remains would be a very satisfying read for many people who might become or are Lisa Joel fans. I very much am a fan, and I want to read every book of hers now. They're like potato chip reading for me. So if you're engaged in a long knitting or crochet project that you want some accompanying content to help propel you along to the next row, I would highly encourage you to take a look at Lisa Joel. One thing I want to mention, I have talked about a natural dyeing in the past. I had out here on this deck earlier in the summer, we were using blueberries to dye a tank top. And I also, and some yarn, and I also wanted to point out that I intended to do even more. These are avocados, dried avocado skins and pits that my friends and family have saved for me. And I actually have a whole nother little sack of these waiting for me. I never got around to actually using those to continue my dyeing efforts, and I would have liked to have done more of that. I'm still hoping here in the fall that I'll be able to do that, and my cousin Stacy is planning on coming over with me and using some of these avocados, because avocados dye kind of a peachy brown color, And so we're hoping to dye a few things with that. And so if I end up doing that, I'll show you what happens with that. But I really love the natural dyeing, and I feel bad because this summer we had so much heat, extreme heat through most of the summer, and humidity, that I was unable to do all the dyeing projects I had in mind and intended to do. And in fact, I totally missed one of my favorite plants, Queen Anne's lace. Comes out usually in July, late June or July, and they pretty much go away or diminish in August. And so this year, they're all gone now. I intended to forage some of those and dye with them because they dye a beautiful soft shade of yellow. But I ended up not being able to do that, and I missed out. So anyway, darn. But if I end up dyeing with the avocados, I will show you the results when I get to doing that. But I do love natural dyeing, and I'm also going to be taking a natural foraging class in November. Someone here in Kansas City is offering a free class on that, and it's a 2-session class. So I hope to go to that and learn some more things too about foraging for the natural dyes here in Kansas City, what we have available locally. Definitely here on my deck right now, I'm getting some acorns, which Bob, it drives him crazy because he has to keep brooming off the acorns each day. But I'm going to save those because acorns do dye a beautiful, lovely shade of lightish brown. And I've enjoyed the yarns that I've dyed with the acorns. So even though he hates the idea of shoveling them off our deck, I do make good use of them by dyeing the, with the acorns. And if you have walnuts, they will make a beautiful dark brown. Unfortunately, I don't have any walnut trees, but I may end up getting some walnuts from someone else. They're definitely something, if you like a dark brown, that makes a lovely color as well. Wally, what are you doing? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come up to me and let's do the ending. Come on. Come here, Bubba. Okay. So now we are at the end of episode 34. Walter decided to come over and say a quick goodbye. It's just a lovely fall day. I can't tell you, early fall. And we're finally through our 100-degree temperatures. Those are over. And I think our high today is going to be in the early 80s and very low humidity. So anyway, until next time, love what you're making. Wear what you make. I messed that up. See, it's been a long time since we recorded. Love what you're making and wear what you make. Till next time, goodbye everybody.